One person asked for Chainsaw Man, so I'll go after him next. His design kinda reminds me of Gravity Man, but with more chainsaws attached to him. Right now my feelings on this game are mixed. It simultaneously flows better than the original, but flows worse as well. Hopefully that's resolved in 3 and 4, although 3 and 4 from what I've heard have their own issues. Fairly strong, but I'd rather just use the Shadow Stars. And the mini tracks aren't as painful to listen to, though I wish Baseball Man's theme was less repetitive. Didn't have enough variation in the composition. That would work better for a stage that's only 30 seconds long, but for one that's several minutes long, no. Come back, platform, I need you. Are the spikes on the sides instant death, or are they just cosmetic? I hope it's the latter. If there's one pickup this game isn't as generous on dropping, it's extra lives. I have more than enough E-tanks to last throughout the game. What I really need is more lives. Thank you, game. I'd like at least 5 more of them. The next game I'll play on this stream won't have this lives problem. Yoku blocks, I guess? Or I just jump down. Should I put a screen transition there? I keep getting the feeling that this stage is also designed for a character who's 2 blocks high. And I can carry more than 90 tanks at a time. Probably the max is 99, not that I'll need all of them. Very straightforward level, all things considered. One of the easiest ones. Let's test out weaknesses. Frankly, this stage feels more appropriate for Samurai Man. Also rather weak to the Shadow Blade. Maybe not rather weak, but semi-weak. And immune to the tornado wind, so I got the weakness there backwards. So I guess his weakness is either Shadow Stars or B-Boomerang, or the explosive weapon that I don't have yet. Down he goes. Indeed, Day in the Limelight 2 massively improves over its predecessor. And by defeating Chainsaw Man, I get the Chain Missile. I hope it's homing. So last but not least is Wireman. His design kinda reminds me of Wire Sponge from X2. Sparkman's level? No music, sadly. It only fires forwards, but it explodes upon contact with an enemy or wall, but uses a lot of weapon energy per use. Actually, you know what? In order to preserve how this livestream went, I won't re-add back in the music. Just to show how glitchy the game is on the music front. Thankfully this was fixed for 3 and 4, at least I hope. Let's do a poll. In the LP version of this, which I'll release in a few weeks, do you want me to add soundtracks to the game where there's no soundtrack playing so you don't just hear dead silence other than sound effects playing? Or do you want me to keep this playthrough as is and not replace the musical tracks which are not playing? Oh, I dislike those sorts of tight jumps. There are always things that can go wrong, especially with these looser engines. Or if you don't have access to slide jumping. It's not as bad here due to edge detection being a bit more generous, but still. Also because the spikes are a lot more precise in terms of the hitboxes. They're not square spikes. When ends, I didn't expect them to come out of the pipes. So they're like piranha plants from Mario in that sense. Should have just used a jet sled. Darn, I could have gotten those Z-tanks, but I don't really need them. Sure, let's get them now. Actually I can't reach them that way, so... back to the main pad. I have plenty of energy tanks to spare anyways. Thanks for the damage boost, Alekin. Enemies aren't as damaging as I initially expected them to be. It feels like I always have some armor equipped. For a stage called Wireman, it didn't really have that much wires. So let's see what his tactics are. He is weak to the missiles. And has a secondary weakness to the acid wave. So that marks the end of the 8 Roadmasters. I wish I could just aim the chainsaw, Daibuman, then I'd like it more. At the very least, the smoke shield is as good as the samurai blades, in the sense that it makes me immune to all enemies. And by defeating Wireman, I gain his weapon, the wire missiles. Time to go through Mr. X's stages. I see one vote for adding music. Any votes against? Remember, if I add in music in post, it'll be of the NES soundtrack, not MIDI's. Is it just me, or did we go through a familiar stage like this in Hard at 1? Yes, we did. But going from right to left. Let's try the Wire Crush. Slightly bobs up and down, but it explodes upon contact. Right now it seems like a better version of the Crush missile. I want to give all weapons their time to shine, but for some of them it's much harder than others. Like, why can't I aim the boomerangs upwards? I don't actually have access to any upwards firing weapons in the game. The closest equivalent would probably be the Samurai Stars, but even then, it only fires upwards at an angle. Weapon balance is probably as bad as Hard at 1, I'd say. Unlike Hard at 1 though, at the very least all the weapons are somewhat useful. We don't have stuff like the Atomic Fire, which was basically useless outside of weakness affiliations. So it's that time now. For a moment there I was worried the game froze or something. I don't recognize this boss, so we have some unique bosses. What could it be weak to? That deals a nice amount of damage per hit. Might as well give it a time to shine, as I'll barely use it otherwise. Blue Taco Trash, got it. Yeah, I will play Mega Man Nightshade in the future. In general, it feels that all stages in this game have a lower difficulty curve compared to Hard at 1. Although it is because this game has better level design, and also because enemies aren't as damaging as you'd expect them to be, and I'm tearing through them so much faster. And more importantly, none of them have iframes. The guard isn't as useful as I expected it to be. For instance, the Apache Joes used to be really deadly. Not sure what happened there. I clipped right through the terrain. And after every time I die, all the tanks and pickups respawn. So I can easily farm up if I so desire. I have plenty of E and M tanks to spare. I wish I could trade some of them for extra lives. Pro level design. Just walking back and forth. I'd rather just save up the weapon energy than waste it. They don't deal enough damage to justify using weapons. Oh no, don't tell me we have invisible platforms now. Not invisible platforms, the opposite. Invisible holes. There was no indication that was going to happen there. Even the first game had a decency to telegraph when it was coming. Now I'm just gonna use a jet slide over all of these platforms. See, I would have preferred if that was the introduction. I think I can reach it. Yes, I can. How do you even know where the hole is here, outside of using weapons? Well, you can use the acid wave, but there needs to be a better telegraph. Not over an instant death pit. Another reason why I don't like to use it, it glitches out rather easily. Hi, Matra. You're even easier than the previous fortress boss, all things considered. At least for there you have to focus on hitting the red gem, but here your entire body is weak to my shots. That was disappointingly easy. Well, that was a downgrade from the first stage. Free extra life, but that makes me a bit worried. Again with this game's exceeding generosity. Of course, that's only because this is on normal mode, probably. Is this another case, like in Mega Man 2, where normal mode is essentially easy mode, and difficult mode is Japan's normal mode? I'm starting to think that's the case. Otherwise the game shouldn't be this generous. And so far, nothing the game has pulled out has been rather difficult, outside of some sections in Acid Man stage and Baseball Man stage, and Tornado Man stage. Only 3 stages though. So I should have started the game on difficult in the first place. Buster did warn me not to play on the hard difficulty settings of hard at 3, because it's much more difficult, so we'll see about that. Sorry, I'm so paranoid there are actually holes in the floor. There probably aren't, but better safe than sorry. Seems like the music is kind of giving up. A low-energy remix of Mega Man 3 Wily 2 Team. With all the master tanks I have, I can basically pacifist run the entire fortress from here on out, by continuously using the smoke shield. This looks like a job for the jet sled. One of the best utilities in the game, well, the only one, but it surpasses several weapons in the game too. Well, hello there, Gamma. Didn't expect you here. Of all the bosses, I thought it'd be someone else. I guess you're weak to baseball bats, then. No second phase? That's disappointing. I'll test it out, Jedok. He may in fact be weak to his own weapon. 300 bosses are weak to the Samurai Blades anyways. Looking to be the rematch stage. Why is the teleporter to the left though? What's with the empty gap in the wall to the right? This surely looks like a secret. I think there's an extra teleporter here if you're playing this on difficult mode. Otherwise I see no reason to put it there. Another reason why I should have played this on difficult mode, but what is done is done. Boss rematch times. Oh great, every time I enter and exit one of these rooms, the game is gonna freeze up a bit. He is semi-weak to his own weapon, but that's not his weakness, I guess. I guess it'd be the smoke screen. So he's actually weak to the wire crush. I thought a different boss was weak to it. Reminds me of the loading in the boss rematch stage of Mega Man X7. Not as bad as that, but still. So acid. I guess Shadow Stars then? I used everything else and they seem about as effective as it should be, other than Tornado Wind. Perhaps that's it because it multi-hits them. I never found— oh, he's actually healed by the Samurai Blades. He's weak to the baseball bat. This is easily one of the worst aspects of Hardhead 2. In Hardhead 1 we didn't have this much delay between the boss battles. This just wrecks the flow and all that. Smoke Man, fire? Where there's smoke there's fire? Nope. Maybe this? It blows away his disguise? Yeah, it does. That's a semi-logical weakness. He just gets destroyed by it. Baseball Man, I remember you're weak to the blaze fire. At the very least, 3 or 4 of the weaknesses do make sense. And I do give credit to the game for actually having unique Roadmasters. Not that most of them are good. And a few of the weapons are pretty fun to use. Not sure why Blaze Man is weak to the Samurai Stars. No wait, he's supposed to be weak to the Acid Wave. Guess he has double weaknesses then. Chain Man, or Chainsaw Man. The acid melts away his chainsaws. And that marks the end of the 8 Roadmasters. Who's next? Nope, that's it. On to the final stage. Thanks, Leslie. Even more generosity, but I have plenty to spare. Probably the amount of generosity is cut in half for hard mode, which yet again I should have played. My final impressions are that difficult mode of this game is equivalent to difficult mode on the Mega Man 2 US version. Hi there, Mr. X, in your capsule machine, I guess? He's immune against the Buster, so time to test out weaknesses. I get the feeling that Mr. X is actually Dr. Light in disguise. I doubt that we killed him in the last game. so weak to the baseball bat. Phase 2. Now he's mad. Now weak to the acid wave. Second phase destroyed. Is that it? This can't be it. This is it? That was very anticlimactic. Especially as you're forced to use weapons against them. It shouldn't be that easy. There should have been a third phase and whatnot. Me too, Hardat. I thought this would be much harder as well. Once again, I should have done that. Perhaps I'll play through the game again in a non-commentated version on difficult mode. So here are my overall thoughts on Hardat 2. In some ways it's an improvement over the predecessor, in some ways it's a downgrade. I think it's still an overall upgrade in terms of gameplay and weapons being fun to use, but the downgrades are quite notable. For example, the music decides to not play more than half the time. Like, the credits theme is supposed to be played here, but it's not. Another issue with this version of Fmod is that just before the music plays in every stage or any transition, the game freezes for a bit. That really destroys the flow of the game, which wasn't present in the predecessor. So, would I recommend this game? Not really. If you want to play a harder game, play the fourth one in the series. That's the one at the very least decent and has the best level design, music, etc., and the least number of bugs. I did enjoy myself, but it kinda felt rompy. Well then, I thank you all for watching my Let's Play of Hardat 2 War Ensemble, viewers. If you enjoyed it, please rate, favorite, comment, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, and join my new Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play.